Hi everyone, welcome back to Reopening the School of Science. There's been a bit of a delay because I was away in Lisbon over the weekend. One player who I really like the look of, which I'm going to look at for FM23, is I think it was Antonio Silva, 18-year-old Portuguese centre half for Benfica. Looked really, really good. Gonçalo Ramos, obviously we all know about. We got to see Florentino Luis play, who's always been a bit of a wonder kid for the last few FMs. But yeah, enough about my weekend. I am back here with the Opening the School of Science with Everton. A little bit later than planned. Obviously, I was going to do the City game, I think, wasn't I? Or the Arsenal game around there. But we've moved past that, and you will see why. Because basically, we've shifted that episode to do today's episode, which is the first leg of the Champions League, first knockout round. Because we've also got a cup final. Let's go. So I think the Genk game was the last time I saw you, if I remember rightly, and we generally had a relatively decent run of form, which coincides with us using the 4-3-3 tactic that we have been using in Santos Laguna in the Pentagon Challenge. If you haven't seen the latest episode, you can do so. The link for that will be at the end of the video. Obviously we used to play a 4-3-3 with Everton a couple of seasons ago. And the reason we stopped was because our inside forwards completely just weren't doing the job. They weren't basically performing well at all. No matter what we tried to sort of get them more into the game or whatever, it just wasn't really happening. So you'll notice that apart from that Man City game, which we lost 3-1, it was pretty good until we played Arsenal and lost 2-0. Now this was very much against the run of play, really. We were by far the better team if you look at the stats. They just basically got a little bit lucky, to be honest with you. And then we managed to beat Man City 2-0 at home with Pedro Gonçalves, who you may remember from the last episode we were on the verge of signing. Well, we did get that done. We then beat Norwich, and then before we lost the Wolves 3-2, a 95th minute winner from Morgan Gibbs-White. One of those incredibly frustrating matches. And we've just had a 0-0 draw against Spurs, followed by a 2-1 win over Leicester. Singing the Foxes, not Wolves. Now, if you look, you will see that our first leg of the Champions League is away at Inter. And then we've got Man United in the AFL Cup Final. That's because we beat West Ham over two legs in the semi-final after getting past Leeds in the quarters. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have Inter v Man United. This is going to be one episode, and then the Inter away leg, home leg, is probably going to be the next episode, unless we somehow batter Inter at home. That's why basically we didn't bring it back here, because we're going to do this one, and then we were going to do this one. So it's we're going to have a couple of episodes close together with not much happening in the meantime, potentially. So that's why I've decided to do, rather than doing here, we've gone for this game, these two games, and then this game. And I've got one unreal goal to show you, and that is Calvin Ramsey against Bristol City. As you can see there, we were playing that 4-2-2, the 4-4-2 diamond at one point as well. But we have generally reverted to the 4-3-3. I think this was back at the start of January, so I don't think we'd properly switched to the 4-3-3 by this point. But this goal from Calvin Ramsey was just ridiculous. Mikolenko, just feast on that. If it will let me slow it down a bit more. Mikolenko with the cross from deep. Calvin Ramsey. Unreal volley into the bottom corner, and he won goal of the month for that. And Pedro Gonçalves came second for one of his goals against Man City, which is nothing you probably not really seen before. But that Calvin Ramsey goal I just thought was unbelievable. Now, transfers wise, there's another thing we need to touch on, because we had quite a big January in the end. In terms of outgoings more than anything. So Pedro Gonçalves came in. But in terms of sales, we sold Raspadori to Inter because he wasn't performing very well at all, to be fair. this season, and he was moaning about not playing. It's like, well, you're not playing well, so I'm not going to play you. So we ended up just selling him to Inter, which is ironic because we're now playing against them, and they've also got Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. So we're playing against a few of our old boys, and we sold Ruben Neves again. He was getting a little bit unhappy that he wasn't getting the game time. And don't get me wrong, he was playing. I just think he wanted to play a lot more than he was. So we made a little bit of a loss on him, but for someone who wasn't going to get any better and was only had like sort of 2 years left on his contract, if that, we decided to sell him, and that meant we just had a bit more registration space in the squad. So yeah, as you can see, SL433, Santos Laguna 433, this is the tactic we've been using. Luca's been in a little bit of bad form, so we've been finding Alan Edwards has been generally playing better. We also have not had DeMarco for a while, but he has just come back from injury, but I don't know if he's going to be ready to start in this Inter match, but we'll see. In terms of anything else, I think the dev centre was looking pretty naff. Yeah, pretty awful intake, really, which is real shame. Oh yeah, in the league, so with our increase, our like good improvement in form, we managed to move up to 5th. Admittedly, we've got a game in hand, but that game in hand, admittedly the other teams have got a game in hand over us, but that is because we're playing in the Carabao Cup Final on the Sunday. So that's obviously, we played our game early. I think we were due to play Norwich, as you can see with Norwich, the under-18s are playing, but we've ended up playing them a bit earlier. But yeah, we're going into this Inter game, and it's away. I'm really not sure what to expect. It's probably one of the harder teams that we could have drawn. But we'll see how we go. All we can do is hope that we can get a positive result. Even if we were to lose, as long as it's only a narrow loss, because I think at home, I think we could do the job, but it's really difficult to call. So yeah, let's go and pick the team. DeMarco is actually declared fit enough, but I don't think he will be quite ready to start the game. But he is going to go straight in on the subs bench because I want to have the option to bring him on. Yeah, Pedro Gonçalves is also not fully fit. I think we'll stick with Luca. Just because it's Luca. But what we might do is, can he cross? Not particularly well. Where's Bargy? And we'll just aim to get some more crosses into the box. I don't need that many centre-halves. Actually, oh no, Conte. I think we'll play Conte over Rodri. And we might even play him. Just plays him as a simple defensive mid. No, nothing fancy, no frills, just do the job. And what we will probably do is just drop the line slightly because they've got a lot of pace up front, have Inter with Coman and Martinez. I've also got Pablo Torre as well, Torre. They're going to be playing Myler, I think, as wing back. So you know what, maybe if we tell Alvarez to sit narrower, just to sort of make the most of that space and sort of push more onto the fullback, the centre half. Almost like double up on the fullback, hopefully with Luca. The centre back with Luca. And I think we do that, and I think we see how we go. Wish us luck, everyone. Drop your predictions below. Another thing as well is that Pau Torres wanted to leave as well in the January, and we couldn't quite shift him. We were quite happy to sell him. He's like 30, but no one would sort of. I think Valencia bid for him, but he didn't want to go. So he's staying. We're just going to try and reintegrate into the squad because Fofana and Araujo have generally been very, very good. So Torres just hasn't been getting the game time that he wants. But, fair enough. Like he's a decent player, but I just felt like he's a little bit weak in some areas. Like his ball retention, I feel sometimes isn't very good in his positioning. Even though he's got really good attributes, I feel like it could be better. But he stayed for now, and we'll try and see if we can get some use out of him. Good tackle, Mikolenko. Myler, that should be away. Calvert-Lewin, we always know he's going to win those balls. He's basically playing as an IF, but he's almost like a weird wide target man. And it's difficult really because I want Araujo to be, and Fofana to be keeping an eye on Martinez, but I also want Araujo to keep an eye on Calvert-Lewin really. That was fortunately terrible. Potentially if I just tell Araujo to sit wider, will that help get him across to Calvert-Lewin quicker on the cross? Relatively uneventful first half. You might notice that the games generally seem a little bit quicker, and that's because we've dropped to key highlights generally for the last... Oh my word, Borello's hit the post. The last sort of few episodes, just to try and... Because sometimes we were getting a little bit of dross. I mean, I'm quite happy with 1-1, to be fair, at half-time. 0-0 at half-time. Struggling to get my words out. I'm very tired. Calvert-Lewin thankfully heads over. That is not working. We need to maybe drop Mykolenko back. And yeah, I'm going to make some subs and I'll make some more tactical changes. So we made a couple of changes. So we're bringing on Pedro Gonçalves, even though he's not technically 100% fit. That was lucky. And we're taking off Julian Alvarez because he was really tired. And basically what we've... He's onside, hands up, the hand is up. Rooney Bargy, Luca winning the corner, winning a header on the corner. And I'm pretty sure that's going to get given. It's been given, yes. 1-0 away at the San Siro. But yeah, what we've done is Mykolenko is more of a defending fullback now. And he is marking Coman. And Gonçalves is actually marking Mailer to try and cut out those crosses on that right-hand side. And then we've set Araujo to mark Calvert-Lewin and Fofana to mark Lautaro Martinez. Just like that right there. Mykolenko is tired, but I think rather than rushing DeMarco in, we go with Henrique because he's a bit taller and he's a little bit more defensive. He's basically playing as like a... Excuse me? What just happened? Sorry, what happened then? What just happened then? I would love to see what happened then. So they had a free kick. Balog, Kovacic, come on. We're not going to see it. Okay, that's fine. How was Coman so free? I mean, thankfully he missed, but I don't know how he was so free. That's a great save from Geisbauer. He was offside. Martinez was offside, but Coman should have buried that. Not that it would have counted, I know, but still. Wow, that was lucky. I think we bring on Rodri for Conte, and he can stay like that actually. Raspadori is on. I assume it's for Calvert-Lewin, which means that I can probably tell Araujo to stop. Hopefully he won't have just switched to slightly more Raspadori. We'll check in a minute. Very narrow 1-0 lead here. That is terrible defending. And Raspadori has scored against his old club. Poor goalkeeping, even poorer defending. So he's actually got two players doubled up on him. And he gets past both of them, which makes it even worse. Don't get me wrong, I was about to change that so that he's not doing those things, but that's still pretty awful that he managed to evade two defenders, both Porro and Araujo. That should never happen. That's a terrible touch from Gonçalves. But you know what? I'll take 1-1. I know away goals don't count, but I will take 1-1. No. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you again. And again, can someone defend, please? Thank you. Luca flicks it on, but no one is there, obviously. Are they throwing Ferl and Mendy out on the right now? I think that's a double save from Geisbauer. Giacomo Raspadori was offside, but I think he just made a ridiculous double save then. I will take this result. Right, everyone, it's Cup Final day. We're playing Man United in the EFL Carabao Cup. The team is slightly different. Pickford is going to start over Geisbauer. Pickford has been wanting more game time, and he's a bit of a big game player. He's always done well for us in finals previously. So we're going with him. Conte is in because Rodri is just recovering from a slight knock he picked up in training. Defences, as you would expect, we've got DeMarco still coming back from injury. He will come on at some point in this game, I imagine. Gonçalves is going to come in at that CM attack role. He does quite well there, to be fair. And Barello is going to go out on the right with Ward-Prowse as the BBM. Alan Edwards is going to come in for Lorenzo Luca up top. And we're actually going to throw in Anthony Gordon in on the left over Julian Alvarez, because Alvarez is still struggling to find his form. So, you know what? Anthony Gordon, let's give him his chance and let's see what he can do. Excuse me. He's been here along with Pickford and Godfrey pretty much since the beginning. He scored that goal in that cup final for us in our first season in the FA Cup. So, I feel like he deserves a chance to try and get on today. And we will do our best to give him that. In fact, we'll play Torres in for Tomori. And wish us luck, everyone, once again. So here we are at Wembley, playing against Man United, who have been generally, they're top of the table. They're generally very, very strong. And yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I'm well aware it's going to be tough. It'd be nice if we can get a trophy at the first time of asking in this season, because we have got a bit of work to do to try and get the Premier League title. We've got about 14 points to make up on United, and it's going to be difficult with like 10 games to go. Champions League, there's still a lot of strong teams left, so that again is going to be hard. But, we're obviously going to do our best. And obviously the FA Cup as well. We've got Hull in the next round of the FA Cup, so I'd like to think we've got a good chance of at least getting to the 6th round. Poor defending from Mikalenko. But well in by Araujo, cutting it out ahead of Isak, who has caused us problems on so many occasions whenever we've played United. And that's a great save by Pickford, and that is poor. Really poor response, really poor recovery. Initial really, really good save from Pickford from Isak, and then we just didn't respond well at all. I don't think we need to see that again, do we? Actually, just look at that. Great save. Porro and Araujo both go to the ball. Only need one person marking him. It didn't help that Mikalenko went flying in on him, but although to be fair, he has got to tackle harder on his obstruction. What are you doing, Fofana? Don't mess around with it. I'm going to just put him on defensive midfielder because I don't want him getting another yellow. A bruised shin. You can play through that, Ward-Prowse. Get some ice on it, you'll be fine. No. It's a great save by Pickford. He's supposed to be being tightly marked. Who's picking him up? Come on, James. This will probably be your cut. No, it went straight over. Usually it goes like sort of here and the keeper saves it. Well, the Anthony Gordon gamble and the Barella gamble haven't really worked, to be fair. So we made two changes at half time. So we did take off Ward-Prowse in the end, just because that knock seemed to be hindering his performance a little bit. That's going to be a penalty, because that was definitely in the box. What are you doing, Porro? And we've tried putting Barella into the BBM role, and we brought Julian Alvarez on for Gordon as well. And Pickford just doesn't even make any attempt to save it. He just folds himself over. Disgusting. Oh my word, 3-0. Jadon Sancho winning a header. What is that rubbish? Absolutely humiliated here by United. Two shots all game. Absolutely pathetic. Rubbish. Disgusting, disgraceful, pathetic. Any number of words you can pick from. I don't want to see it. Go away. So there were fines for days after that because there's so many poor performances. That was just disgraceful. I'm so disappointed with that performance. Just really, really pathetic. Just shocking. But yeah, we got to go again. So we've got 3 games now before the Inter game. And I shall see you for then. It's perfectly balanced. 1-1 after the first leg. One trophy is now gone and out of our reach. But can we try and get at least 2 more? Champions League and FA Cup. And if we really get lucky, who knows, the Premier League. But we've got a lot to do there. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, everyone. Take care. I shall see you all next time. Bye.